Good afternoon and welcome to my Facebook Live today. My name is Michelle Dutrissa and I'm an independent demonstrator from New South Wales in Australia. So anyway, I hope you're all having a lovely day. Hi Kay, great to see you. And Glenda, it's great to see you too. So today what I thought we'd do is we're going to roll the dice again and see what happens. So I'm going to flip this camera over and we're going to get started pretty quickly. So just bear with me 1 second while I turn the camera. Okay then, I hope we can all see that. Just waiting for my tablet to catch up. Great. So I've got my dice. Now just a little bit about these dice. A friend of mine has made these for me. If you're wanting to purchase some of these for yourself here in Australia, because I'm not posting these overseas, it's just Australia only, there is another demonstrator that I can give you contact details for if you are in Canada or America or England, who also makes and sells these. I had ordered some from her, but unfortunately with the post and everything, they haven't turned up, so a friend of mine offered to make me some. So I'm selling these here. They're $20 for the set of 5. So a lot of fun, whether you're a demonstrator or whether you're just a crafter at home, just to make things a little bit of spur of the moment. Now, I'm not a spur of the moment girl, so this is always a bit of a challenge for me. So let's throw the dice and see what we come up with. Okay, let's just do a couple at a time. We're going to do a fancy fold, and we're going to use some die cuts. Okay, let's throw another 2. We're going to use Regals, and we're going to do a bit of colouring. Now, last dice for you. I might just throw that one again, because last time I did this, I did a for you. Let's see. This time we've got a thank you. Okay. So we're going to do a fancy fold. We're going to be using some die cuts. We're going to use our Regals. We're going to do a bit of colouring. And it's going to be a thank you card. Okay, so bear with me while I pull out a few things. I just need to go and have a look and see what I've got in stamps. Okay, something. It's going to be a for you card. And I've got to use Regals. Okay. Okay, we might use that one because I have not used that as yet. And our Regals that we can use with that. Okay, what can we use? Okay, so we've got Mary Morlow, we've got Mossy Meadow. Actually, they're naturals. What am I doing? I want Regals, not my naturals. Something seemed to be not quite right. Okay, I'll tell you what, because I know I've got the designer series paper that goes with that, and that uses the Blackberry Bliss. It also can use Rich Raspberry, and what else? Okay, so we've got die cuts. So there are die cuts that go with this. I'll have to just have a look, see where I've put those. So we've got some Regals. Need to do some colouring. Now that's going to be interesting. Die cuts we can do. Thank you. I need a thank you sentiment. So I hope everyone is having a nice day. And that where you live, you're having some really great weather. I haven't been out much of late because we're in lockdown here in New South Wales, and it's just been extended for another couple of more days, or weeks I should say. So actually my idea might have changed. I might use that stamp set instead. So yes, things have stayed at home a lot of late. My husband's at home as well, so I'm not getting as much done as I probably would normally do if he wasn't here, which I think most of us would find with our husbands being around. Okay, and I'm going to use okay, we're going to have a look at and see what we come up with. Maybe those and those. Regals is not a colour. These are my favourite colours, these ones here, the Blackberry Bliss and the rich raspberry and the old olive, but I don't usually use a lot of Regals, so this is going to be interesting, but we might just leave that one out for the moment. Let's see what we can come up with using some of these. Okay, so we've got a thank you in there. I've worked out maybe some colouring using those and a fancy fold. Okay, what sort of fancy fold can we do today with this? Let's have a little bit of a think. I might use the Blackberry Bliss, my card base. Just pop all these over to there for the moment. And let's have a look. What sort of fancy fold? I'm going to just cut my A4 cardstock directly in half. Now, if I don't see or miss comments, I will get back to you after this is all finished. So please bear with me. If you've never been on here before, please say hello. Hi Beryl. Hi Joan, I see you're watching. Yeah, it is a great way, Joan, to get a bit of variety, and it's not something that I handle real well because I like to plan things out before I start, but I do this once a month. I started it last month, and I've decided just to do it once a month because it also challenges me rather than just relying on the same thing all the time and the same ideas. It pulls me out of my comfort zone. So, and I think that's a fairly good thing to do every now and then. Okay, so let's score that down there. And then I want to, okay, I'm going to score that again. So I've just taken an A4 piece of cardstock. I've cut it in half at 10.5. Okay, if you're in America, that's your letter size cardstock cut in half. And I'm going to, now I've never done one of these cards before, so I'm sort of thinking on the fly here because I'm really not quite sure exactly what I am doing. But I'm going to try to do a book fold card. So I'm going to do another score line there. Let me just have a look and see. So that's going to fold back like that. You would adhere that down. So I've only I've got inches on there. So I've scored that at around about 2 centimeters. So I've got my score line there in my middle, which it is at 14.9, and then I've got from that fold line I've scored 2 centimeters. So that's if I was going to take this out, so I've scored at 14.9, and then I've gone to say 16.9 to do another score line to give me that line there. And I'm thinking also of using some designer series paper. Now let me just see if I can find the one I'm after, which is this one, because that goes with that's the black and white version, which is in our Sale-A-Bration at the moment, that you can earn for free when you spend $90 Australian. I'm hoping I got that correct. And that goes with your hand penned, but I'm also thinking too, you can easily colour this and get some really nice effects. So let's just have a look. We use that. What do we have here? Pop that onto there. This is why I like to think of these things beforehand, because I tend to can be fiddling around a bit. So we've got to do some die cutting as well. Okay. Anyone got any ideas? Please share them with me if you do. Yeah, I think I like that one and maybe some of that. Or that stripe. Okay. Let's remove this out of the road. Pop that down there. So what I thought we might do to start off with is cut this. So we're going to put a little bit of a strip on there. So I'm going to cut this at 2 centimeters. And that's already at 10. Do I want to make it a bit longer? Needs to be a bit narrower than 2. Let's just use this piece here. So we're going to cut that at 1.8. 1.8. Just want that little bit just to go on there. No, it's still not quite. If I cut it any narrower, it's going to end up being too narrow. This is what happens when you do these things and you're doing it on the... Those stripes there are a little bit better. So I'm actually going to cut that quite a bit narrower there. So I've ended up cutting that strip there. Now that's probably about 1.8 1.6, 1.7, and I'm going to make this one here 10.2. That I think is going to be better. Yes, so that's going to go there. And I'm going to cut. So that's that piece. This piece here, because I'm left with this piece, which is about 13 centimeters. So I want to cut this at 13 less about 3. So that is going to be 12.7 and 10.2. So I'm taking 3 millimeters off. So I'm going to have quite a narrow, just make sure I've got the right ones, quite a narrow piece. So that's going to go there. And that one there. Okay, so let's adhere those down. Still yet to do some colouring and some die cutting. Just using my multi-purpose glue here on this little strip. And I'm going to adhere that down there. Whoops, just don't add too much glue, otherwise it oozes a little bit and we don't want that to happen. So just let me remove that. Okay. I think my glue is almost empty. I've got a few of these glues just lying around which are just so close to being empty, but I don't want to throw them away until I know that they are empty. That one can go onto there. Okay. Going to use a little bit of ribbon. That I'm going to tie around here. And I'm using that crinkle white seam binding. Let me just remove some of that. Don't you wish sometimes you had a third hand just to be able to hold those knots in place while you tie those bows? Beautiful. Make that bow just that little bit smaller. Trim those, and now I just want to add I'm going to add this on the inside of that fold. I'm going to add 2 rows of ribbon here, adhesive here. So I'm just using my tear and tape I'm adding 2 rows because I want that to be nice and firm there. Oops, doesn't want to come off. Let's try this again. There we go. Make sure our ribbon is in the center. And then we're going to adhere that down. So hopefully when that folds open, so we've now got, that will fold open like that. Get rid of those. Now I want to make something to go in the center there, which we're going to stamp on, and I'm going to need some white cardstock. Again, I'm just going to cut my A4 piece of cardstock here into quarters because I like to, when I need pieces for inserts or decorating on the front, I like to sort of start with a quarter of a sheet. So I usually have a pile of these sitting somewhere. So we're going to need to cut this down. Now we did work out before that was 13 in there, and I'm going to cut that down to 12.5. This is to go on the inside of our card. So I'm going to cut that down to 12.5 by 10. So that will eventually fit in there. So I've just gone 1/2 centimetre, or you would use 1/4 inch, just to give me a nice border around there. But I'm not going to stick that in just yet, just in case I decide to decorate. And I do want to do something with this piece, and maybe do some stamping and then die cut it out. So I was working with my Stitch So Sweetly, so I knew I have this close by. Let's have a look what we could use out of here. So on the front, because we want to see a bit of this, we don't want it all hidden. So maybe that would be nice on there. So what I think we might do is do a little bit of stamping with this one. Find the right size block. Do. And get some Memento ink. I like to use Memento, it's my favourite black because it's just a water-based ink, so very easy to clean off your stamps. And I just want to stamp that at an angle on here because part of this is going to get cut away. So when we die cut this, we're only going to have maybe a small section. So something like that. Let's grab the thanks. Whoops, someone hasn't put thanks away. Now that is going to cause an issue. Okay, we'll just grab another stamp set. I'll have to go searching for that that stamp. Goodness knows where that is. Okay, I need another thank you. Just double make sure it hasn't stuck somewhere where it shouldn't have. It's definitely gone walkabout. Okay. Let me just find another thank you. This one will work. So we're going to use the Wildly Grateful, oh, it's a stamp from the Lovely You stamp set. I hope that other stamp turns up. Okay. So, Wildly Grateful, which is that one. Out there. Sure I got the right way. Yep. Just hold that there for a few seconds. Beautiful. Perfect. Looks like it was meant to be. Just don't tell anyone I've lost my stamp. It'll be a secret between us. Okay, so that's going to get cut to there. So what I think we might do now is colour this in. So again, I'm going to use some of these stamps. And to do that, we need a large stamp for that one. We also need that smaller one. And we also need the leaves. Okay. As you can see, I have a tendency of working in a little bit of a mess. So let's just clear that off a little bit. That black mark doesn't matter because we are going to cut that out. So just going to pop that there, clean that off later. Need that one. Just grabbing a few blocks out. Okay. Now I don't think I'm going to stamp a few of these at full strength. I think because being regals, they can be fairly heavy in colour. Okay, that one there will do for that one. And I'm going to start with some of these greens. Now I don't need to colour in all of these, but I will colour in as many as I can, because even though they're going to get die cut out and discarded, it saves us having to go back. So I just want to take some of that colour off. Now I am using the old olive, and I'm just going to colour some of these in with just our stamps. And I'm not worrying too much about being perfectly in line, because this is a stamp set that it's an artistic type style, so it doesn't matter if it's not 100% covered. So we've done all of those. Now, Blackberry Bliss, definitely do need to stamp this off. Take some of that colour off and line this up. And then I might stamp pad's a little bit sick. I think I need to actually replace that whole stamp pad. These I don't mind doing, maybe stamp those off lightly. Don't mind doing these a little bit stronger because I'm going to be using just very lightly take some of that colour out. And then the tiny weeny little flowers, I'm going to do those in full strength. That's probably a better one to use, that one. Just going to do that one all over it, just on top of it, in the darker. That's better. Beautiful. So just a little bit of stamping there, but by stamping off, and you can add your depth of colour and build it up. So your bigger flowers are your lighter, and then work up from there. So now we need to cut that. Now I think this will fit into my, yep. So I want to cut this down because my mini trimmer or mini cut and emboss will work on about 3 inches. So I am going to remove the top of that. And that. So let's position where we want this to go. So I want that to go, get as much of all of that as possible. I am just going to use some tape just to hold these into position. Now this tape that I'm using is Post-it note tape that I picked up from Officeworks. That's just going to hold that in there. Let's bring in our mini cut and emboss. Great little machine, this one, really good for these little jobs. So let me just turn these all around a little bit. Put that in there, hold it down, cut all those. Card, and we might just do a little bit more stamping on the inside in here. So because we like the inside of our card to look just as nice as the outside. And I'm just going to stamp that just in the corner there. Now you could very easily leave that black and white or colour it, because we are using black and white paper. So I might just leave that black and white for the moment. And that can go, actually no, I think I will colour that. Again, just stamping that off. Oops, I didn't stamp that one off. That's okay. It'll still look good. Good thing I caught that one. Oh, gee, my shirt's catching all my stamps. I'm losing them today. Oh, I didn't stamp that off. That's okay. There's a little bit of green on there. So again, I'm just going to adhere this onto the inside of our card. And we might just throw that one away. I think that's done. We'll try the next one. And we'll add some dimensionals. Just going to use some black ones on the back of this. Don't need to add any more ribbon because we've got ribbon already on there. Now I will post this video on my YouTube channel, so if you want to go back and watch it, it will be up sometime over the weekend. Just going to pop that one. Right there. Now what I do want to do, just trying to see whether I can reach my, without moving my camera. What colour have I got there? Okay, I want to add a little bit of bling, I think, but will I? Let's just have a look, see what I've got here. We could add some black. All of those. What else have I got? Unfortunately, I'd like to grab my, let's have a look to see. I'm trying to work out whether I can grab my blends without moving the camera too much. So I might just have to move this a little bit just to see whether I can, because they're sitting right behind my camera stand. So if I'm making you a bit dizzy, I am terribly sorry. And sorry for my arm leaning across. Let's hope everything's just gone flying. What have I got here? Blackberry Bliss, that's what I was wanting. So going to grab some pearls. Now these are probably very, very old packet of pearls that I've got here. Something I haven't used a great deal of over the years, so sort of been left with few, but anyway, it's a great way of using up some of these bits and pieces. Let's just see what I've got. And I'm just using my blends to colour in a few pearls and some larger ones. I'm going to do some smaller ones as well, different sizes. Let those dry for a second. Now they were supposed to be Blackberry Bliss, and this is Blackberry Bliss, but it looks a little bit pinker, but that's okay. It'll still work. Pop one there. I like to work in odd numbers. And just one there. Okay, let me just move some of my bits and pieces out of the road. Clean up a little bit. On a good working day, I'll just usually have mess just everywhere around me, but that's okay. Okay then, so we threw the dice and we had a fancy fold. We've used our Regals with just the Blackberry Bliss and the Old Olive. We've done a little bit of die cutting, not a lot, but a bit. We've done some colouring with our stamping, and we've also coloured in our pearls. We've got a thank you in our sentiment where we're widely grateful. So I think I've covered it. What do you think? Did you enjoy that? I hope you did. Oh, hi Ebony, how are you? So as I said, if you are wanting any of the dice, let me know. They're $20 for the pack of 5. And I will get onto a friend of mine who can make them up for us, and as soon as I have them, be posted out to you. Postage is $9.40, which it covers a satchel, because I think that's just an easiest way to send them to you is in a satchel. All the products I've used today, as I said, with the designer series paper, that's in our Sale-A-Bration catalogue, so spend $90 and you can choose that one for free. We've also used the, bring in the stamp sets we've used today, which is the hand-penned petals, which is in our annual catalogue. So the black and white designer series paper actually coordinates with that, works quite well with it, as you can see. We've also got our ribbon, which is in our annual catalogue, which is our white seam binding, and that is also a ribbon that you can very easily colour using your blends, which is also in our annual catalogue. You will find on above this video all the links to my online store, so please, if you're interested in purchasing any of these items and you live here in Australia, pop over to the store and have a look. If you have any questions or anything, leave me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If I have missed any of your comments today, I will go back and go through them and comment later on. So let me just flip the phone over again, just so then you can see who is actually speaking to you. There we go. So I hope you've enjoyed my card today. Once a month I will be doing the dice. We'll be throwing the dice and seeing what we come up with. So I don't think I can handle it more than once a month, because it is something that takes me right out of my comfort zone. But it is good, because if you are challenged and not knowing what you want to do, but you want to make a craft, you know, it just gives you a little bit of inspiration. You know, sort of grab hold of some of these and throw the dice and see what you come up with. So anyway, I will say bye for now, and I will catch up with you next Friday when we make another card. So have a lovely day, keep warm, and I'll catch up with you all soon. Bye for now.